Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. It is Saturday, June 18th. Ian, Cameron, and Vito, and I just see we're both in black today. Here come the men in black, the hockey puck defenders. There you go. We're here on a Saturday. We're ready to break down Game 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup Final. Let's just jump right in. We've got Game 2 tonight. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. We hope this is a great series. Game 1 was a phenomenal first game of the series. Hopefully that's a sign of what's to come. We've got Colorado here minus 155. Home favorites here in Game 2 tonight. The total sitting at pretty much a flat 6 across the board. Not a whole lot of movement with that. Of course, the Avs leading the series 1-0 after the big Game 1 overtime victory, 4-3. And we'll see if they can extend that series lead tonight. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, of course, in their familiar position that everybody has been talking about whenever they've been in this kind of spot, and that is off a loss. And they have been 18-1 in that situation in the last 3 years in the Stanley Cup playoffs. However, the last time the Tampa Bay Lightning were in this situation was the time when that streak got snapped, that undefeated off a loss streak over the last 3 years. And that was, of course, in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final against the New York Rangers when they dropped back-to-back games at Madison Square Garden in that series. So to me, this is not a slam dunk, that Tampa Bay, just automatically assumed they're going to bounce back, tie up the series. That being said, I think if you're Tampa Bay, you're not happy with the way you started, certainly in Game 1. That was a bad first period. We were on the BetCast, Vito, and we saw it clearly. Colorado was taking it to Tampa Bay in the opening period. They got the 3-1 lead. They forced some mistakes from Victor Hedman, of all people, was making a few blunders defensively. Vasilevsky didn't look good in the opening period. A couple of those goals, you're like, I'd like to see my goalie make a save there, and he didn't. So it was kind of jaw-dropping to see just how Tampa was in that opening period. Not good. But I thought as the game went on, they got better. I thought the second period was great for them. They tied it up. They got the only 2 goals of the second period to make it 3-3. I thought they started the third very well. Colorado kind of started to come on strong, and you wonder if the legs and the high altitude and the thin air of Denver, maybe as the game went on, started to get to Tampa a little bit, because they did show signs of fatigue later and later in that game. And then, of course, the Colorado Avalanche get the win in overtime. So, when I look at this game, and look, we have an unbiased opinion here from a very big Colorado Avalanche fan I see in our chat here, IceX, who actually likes Tampa Bay tonight. And I think there's a lot of reasons to like Tampa Bay tonight. And it's not just off a loss. It's the fact that, Vito, they didn't even play their best, not even close, in the exact words of John Cooper, not even close to giving our best in Game 1. And here they were, still just one shot away from maybe winning that game, or if you believe John Cooper in that they didn't play well, stealing Game 1, seeing as he thought Colorado played better. They were still one shot away from maybe stealing it in overtime. So I think there's plenty of room for improvement for Tampa tonight. And I'm going to go with the Lightning here, Vito, and I'm going to go with a first period full game split, because I actually do think there is a very, very big focus and emphasis for Cooper and for the Lightning to have a much better opening period. You just cannot put yourself in a position where you're digging out from an early hole against this Avalanche team. And Tampa Bay got into that problem in Game 1. I think they're going to try to fix that. And how are they going to do that? They're going to try to do that with a hot start and a much better start. So I like Tampa, but I'm going to play it as a half and half split. So I'm going to split it up with 2 evenly matched bets. First period money line is in that plus 115 to plus 120 range right now. And the full game money line, depending on which book you're looking at, right now is around plus 130 to plus 135. So that's where that stands right now. I'll be on both of those. I'm not involved with the total tonight, because I honestly think I would lean under, because I find that if Tampa Bay wins the game, when Tampa Bay go back to Game 7 of the Toronto series, Vito, and if you look, every Tampa Bay win, including since Game 7 of Toronto and including Game 7 of Toronto, has gone under the total. Every single time Tampa Bay has won a hockey game. Game 7 against Toronto, the 4 games they won against Florida, the 4 games they won against the Rangers, all of those games went under the total. All of them. So it's almost like it's a correlated side and total, in my opinion. If Colorado's going to win this game, they're probably going to get more of their pace. They're going to get more of an up and down type of game, and it's got a chance to go over the total. But if Tampa Bay is going to win, and I kind of think they will tonight, it's probably a better chance to go under the total this game here tonight. So I think that's something to consider. And you look at game one. The pace in the first period was off the charts, and it's because Colorado was driving the play. Colorado was dictating the play, and we had 4 goals in the first period. What happened, Vito, in the second period when Tampa Bay started to get better? They slowed the pace down. There weren't as many end-to-end rushes. They got it a little bit more of a controlled environment, and even for most of the third period where it went scoreless. So Tampa Bay doesn't actually want to get into a up and down type of track meet with the Avalanche. Years ago they used to want to play that way. They don't, and they probably don't want to play it in particular against this opponent, someone like Colorado. So that's the way I would see it go. We'll get into player props in just a second. We'll do a separate segment on that in a little bit. But I'm on Tampa here. First period, full game, money line split. Vito, game 2, side and total. What do you like here? Lightning, Avs.
Yeah, well, a little bit talking about the first game. Yeah, well, too many turnovers from Tampa, as you mentioned. I mean, and if you check, when Tampa has more than 20 turnovers a game, they always lose. So that's what they will try to limit today. They will try to limit their turnovers because I mean, not only from Hedman, and I mean Sergachev also. He's that clutch guy coming in. He can score late as he did in the last game. He also has some times when he's just lost on the ice. I mean, the overtime goal, he kind of shoots the puck in the middle of the ice, and Avs just take it. You don't shoot it like that in the middle of the ice. That leads to a goal. That would happen. And also Kucherov, except that one good episode where he passed to Palat. I also think that he on power play made some not good not good decisions as he usually does. Some taking the shots when he doesn't need to take the shots, passing when he needs to shoot. Some stuff like that. So all these things were not well. I think it's just the first game as always for the Tampa. In playoffs we see that all the series along these all playoff series. For Tampa is happening the same thing all over again. They come their first games, they're not so sharp as when the series gets deeper. And one of the reasons what I see in this series, I mean, I think if Avs want to win this series, they need to win them fast. So basically, for example, winning today, making it 2-0, then going to Tampa, maybe losing first game, then winning the game 4, making it 3-1, coming back, winning 4-1. Then I can see winning Avs. The longer the series go, the deeper the series go. I think the Darcy Kemper will rise as a small problem. I think for the Avs, and that's when Vasilevsky will take over. So if that's how I think this will turn out. So Avs have to win this fast in 5, or if it goes longer than 5, then Kemper will start to play some not so good hockey as Vasilevsky, and that's how it's gonna end. So talking about today, definitely last time I played Avs first period. Today I think Avs Tampa will have the best first period. Of course, they will come out blazing here after that lost game. But talking about Tampa not playing their best last game, I would say that Colorado also could make it like 2 gears more. I don't think that was also the best from Colorado in that game. So I also having an overtime in the last game. Colorado almost lost that game. I can see also them coming out much better today. And no, and first period, both teams to score. I think we have great price. I think that could hit. I can see both teams coming on the score sheet in the first period. So that's somewhere around plus 160, I think. And yeah, well, I can see Tampa maybe getting that early lead, one nothing. But I think the end of the game, Avs will find a way how to pull a victory in this game. I think the same thing will not happen as it happened in the last game when Avs dominate early. I think this will be a little bit, as always, different in hockey. Same things does not happen twice in a row. Well, they sometimes happen, but I don't think in this situation. I think Tampa will come out, yes, blazing, maybe gets the goal. Avs maybe ties it. Maybe then Tampa scores again, but I think late Colorado will find a way how to again win this game. So I will go here with Avalanche again as I did last time. So give me both teams to score in the first period, and I will go with Avs on the puck line and Avs on the money line. So a split bet like I did last time. And
All right. So
Also,
Vito
yeah,
is
Kuzma
not
also
buying
likes
this
to
Tampa
overshoot.
bounce back. He's liking Colorado here to extend the series or extend
Yeah.
the lead and go up 2-0. Hey, I'll tell you what, you got just look back at last series to see. Hey, the petals of the rose are off or the bloom is off the rose. That's the term I'm looking for. The bloom is off the rose for this Tampa off a loss streak. It finally came to an end against the New York Rangers. So this
Hmm.
notion that it's an automatic that Tampa Bay wins after a loss the previous game, not so much anymore. And this is a very good team they're playing. So you think that they might start strong, but Colorado at home especially might still be just too much for them here.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think. Because Avs, if they want to win, they have to be as quick as possible here. And well, they are faster in transition. They are a better team. I mean, they are faster. They're younger. I mean, they have less games than Tampa. Tampa is playing. I mean, look,
That's
third
true.
cup run. I
Yep.
mean, that's too much. That's a lot. People get tired. Also, it's not like easy. And we have fresh Colorado team there, and they look dialed in. I mean, man, if you just watch, I think they can play even better than that power play, which is over 30%. That's deadly, and 30% of a power play that they scored also 5-on-3 that goal, so that will get done many things, and that penalty kill. Well, I think Tampa Bay just was very bad on the power play. As I said, I think Kucherov made some bad decisions. We're gonna see maybe a great bounce back game from him, maybe some power play goals from Tampa, but I think that will happen when we go deeper in the series. I think today it's still abs from my side.
Yeah. So you're probably. It sounds like your strategy is take Colorado again tonight, and of course you were on Colorado in Game 1, and that obviously cashed in. Take Colorado again in Game 2 tonight. Then maybe when we get back to Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay Monday night, then maybe we look Lightning. That kind of sounds like what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be 1 day rest as well, only, so I think it will favor Tampa in that spot. And also here, I think spot favors Tampa, so I can see early Tampa playing great hockey. But, I think it's just hard to play in Colorado. We keep seeing in this series, I mean, okay, Tampa is different team. It's not Edmonton, it's not Blues, but still, all teams, had kind of a still problem also in that second game. They were not totally sharp. So something is there, something about Colorado. It looks like it's just a tough place to play at. So I can see, yeah, this going 2-0. And then going back, I think Tampa, with 1 day rest, they can win the first game. And then game 4, that's going to be the most important game. So if Tampa wins that game, then I can see actually 2-2 in the series, then maybe 3-2, and then already, Darcy Kemper, Vasilevsky is better. Then I can see Tampa stealing. Because, Vasilevsky last game, 3 goals allowed, okay? So that's, well, he still didn't play that bad later, but that's for Vasilevsky. Everybody will think that's not his level. So he's there to steal at least 1 or 2 more games, I think, in this series. So those games will be there. So maybe that game is today. I don't think so. I think he steals something like game 4 and then game 6. That's where Vasilevsky will step in.
Yeah, I like the team total, Olaf. I do. I'm going to have a smaller bet on that Tampa Bay team total, which is over 2.5 right now. I think they can get to 3. I think obviously you're going to want to see them play a whole lot better. The one concern, it's over 2.5, by the way, is minus 135. It's right around that price. The one concern I would have with it, is that Tampa has won some games winning 2-1. Like they really, when they win, they tighten it up. So are they even going to get to 3 goals? But that's still a very, very generous total, in my opinion. 2.5, like not even 3.5. 2.5 minus 135. So yeah, I could see that definitely coming through. That team total looks like it's got a little bit of value to it here in this one. So Vito
Agreed.
like in Colorado tonight. I'm on Tampa, so it's guaranteed win night here on the Ice Guys for Game
Yeah.
2,
But I
at
agree
least
with
from a
that
side
over,
perspective.
because I mean, Colorado is not here to win a low scoring game with Tampa. If they come here, it's going to be 4-2, 5-3 game, hockey game, I think, for Colorado if they win. Otherwise, again, maybe an overtime. I can see also an overtime at 2-2, and then you will need that goal from Tampa to cash that over. That also could happen.
Yeah, definitely. All right, player props. This is the stuff I really like tonight. As much as I like the side and total and talking about that, I'm probably going to be more interested in a lot of the player props here for game 2 tonight. Let's start with Tampa Bay player props. You damn well know I'm taking Andre Palat to get a point again. It's just completely ridiculous that we've moved it up. I'm really scared now. Ooh, odds makers, you're scaring me. Oh, you're scaring me. You bumped the price up to minus 136. You've really scared me. You've priced me out of my range. Give me a break. That's not enough an adjustment. He has just been a point producing machine right now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, every single game this guy is hitting the score sheet. Earlier in the playoffs, you could have said, okay, at home he was all playoffs. He's gotten at least a point at home. But earlier in the playoffs, Andre Palat actually wasn't producing a whole lot on the road. You weren't seeing him necessarily get on the scoreboard and on the score sheet every night on the road. But here, lately, he's been getting a point. Doesn't matter where it's been. Tampa Bay, New York, Denver, Colorado, of course, game one. He ends up getting 2 points in that game. Andre Palat's just been a machine, for this, an automatic to get a point. And it's minus 130, actually. It's even cheaper at our partner book, DraftKings, for Andre Palat to get a point tonight. So, I'll be looking at that once again. Actually, he only had 1 point in game one, which was that wonderful goal he scored. Great feed from Kucherov to set that up. But just look at the last 5 games: 1 point, 3 points, 1 point, 2 points, 1 point for Palat in the last 5 games. And you have to go, and basically he is in a stretch of hockey right now with a point in 9 of the last 10 games overall. So again, early in the playoffs, he was getting a lot of his points at home, but now he's getting them on the road as well. So definitely going to look toward Andre Palat to get a point, minus 130. Still a bargain, in my opinion, there. I'm also going to look tonight at, I'm going to lay a little juice here on this one. Stamkos point, minus 165. I like that one. Stamkos to me is going to come alive. I think, to score a goal is worth a look. Steven Stamkos, we've talked about this in the couple of shows we've done the last couple days, that when he gets held off the score sheet in one game, the very next game he has answered and he has responded. He's the captain of the team. He probably knows he didn't have his best game in game one. I didn't find he was overly noticeable on the ice. I don't want to go as far as to say you couldn't find him with a telescope on the ice. I mean, I usually only save that line for when you really have a bad game. I don't think he was terrible in game one, but he didn't make an impact, on the game, in my opinion. So I think there's a lot more to give for Steven Stamkos. And again, I'll repeat the pattern. He had no point in game. He had no points in game one against Toronto. He got a point in game two. He had no points in game 3 against Toronto. He had a point in game 4. He had no points in game 7 against Toronto. In game 1 against Florida, he had a point. He had no points in game 4 against Florida. Game 1 against the Rangers, he had 2 points. Game 2 against the Rangers, no points. Game 3 against the Rangers, 2 points, including a goal. No points in game 5 against the Rangers. Next game, the clinching game, game 6, 2 goals, 2 points for Stamkos. So it is a repeated pattern of him showing up, getting involved, getting in on the offense for the Tampa Bay Lightning when he gets no points the previous game. And so I'm going to stick to that thought process here tonight here in game 2. So to get a point, score a goal, goal scorer prop probably makes sense with Stamkos. Over shots on goal, I think, is something to look at. I think he's going to be shooting a lot tonight. He did have 3 shots on goal in game 1, despite, that what I felt was not exactly a whole lot of activity. Again, that's minus 180 on the over 2.5 shots. It's a lot big juice, but I definitely think you could see Steven Stamkos probably getting 3 shots again tonight. I think he's going to be more active, more involved. And if you want to get greater value on some of these players like Kucherov, I think Braden Point props, because look, he's going to be more effective tonight. He has a game under his belt. He still got 1 point, an assist for one of the Tampa goals in game 1. You got to think he's going to feel a whole lot better, a lot more comfortable tonight here going into a game 2. Having a game under his belt is certainly going to help. And he's only minus 140 to get a point, Braden Point. Braden Point minus 140 to get a point here in this game tonight. I think that's pretty solid, considering I expect him to be a lot more comfortable here tonight in game 2 after getting his return to the ice in game 1 under his belt. Just when you finally get back to that game speed again, you have that first game where you get back to that speed that the Stanley Cup final presents. Definitely think you could see him get on the score sheet tonight as well. And I'm going to, for Tampa Bay, have smaller, bets, smaller wagers, just, flyers, if you will, on Nick Paul. I got to go back to Nick Paul after he rewarded me in game one with a point, with a goal, beautiful goal in that game one. But I'm going to go back to the well for him to get a point and score a goal. Scoring a goal for him was plus 375 last game. And you can still get north of plus 300 in this game with Nick Paul to score a goal. They didn't really make much of an adjustment on that. So very good look there, in my opinion, because he's always a threat, especially shorthanded. You see him on the penalty kill for the Lightning. He's had a bunch of chances to score when the Tampa Bay Lightning have been shorthanded. So Nick Paul's just been all over the ice. He's become a counted upon player for John Cooper. So definitely looking toward Nick Paul here in terms of a goal scorer prop, and also maybe to get a point. And maybe Corey Perry as well, just for a small sprinkle. I'm stubborn when it comes to Perry. I know Perry's kind of cooled off lately, but in a game of this magnitude here, you got to make things difficult on Kemper. Last game, no shots on last two games, no shots on goal for Perry. So you got to wonder, is he hurt? Like, he just hasn't been necessarily that noticeable factor. And in fact, he's in a little bit of a drought now, 4 games without a point. So that's why I'm cautious on Perry. But again, it's reflected in the price. You're getting outstanding. You're getting now up to plus 400 on him to score a goal. That's pretty good value. I'd sprinkle a little bit on that as well for Tampa Bay. All right, you know what, Vito? I've talked long enough. Let's just start with Tampa Bay Lightning player props. What do you like here in Game 2 tonight?
I mean, I actually just agree with all your props. I mean, there's nothing much to say. I don't know if you said Big Val. I mean, Valeri Nichushkin is a must go. I mean, 6 shots on goal last game.
Yeah, we'll get to Colorado in a sec. Yep, definitely.
That guy is feeling it. He's stepping up in playoffs. So that's one prop I will be playing, because I will release my bets later in Twitter page, because my books, they're still adjusting something for me here. Some shots is not up and so on, because they're not looking, I guess, what kind of lines or what, I don't know. I think Brandon Hagel, how you call him, I think he has started. Hagel. Yeah. I think he has started to step up a little bit. I think he had a great game one, actually. I think he looked pretty good from that Tampa Bay roster overall, from all the players which played. So, I mean, maybe as he plays with Nick Paul, right? So those two guys today, I think they can generate. That was Tampa's depth, and also actually Colorado depth, who more or less stepped up. So that we saw some depth stepping up in that game. But yeah, back to props. I like Paul and Hagel. I think those guys getting some points today. And then from Colorado, Big Well. I like Big Well, And I mean, I think, McKinnon did not score last game, but he still played very good. I think you never can go wrong with McKinnon, an anytime goal scorer. I think he didn't score last game, and he scores this game. And I think, that's it for props from me today.
What's funny about Hagel's a good call. Hagel's a good call, Vito, because he's up on the second line now. Cooper's actually elevated him here in the lineup up to the second line at the moment with Killorn and Cirelli, I believe. I believe that's Killorn and Cirelli and Hagel right now is the second line for Tampa Bay. So he's going to get more minutes. You look at the current power play units. I believe, did he get power play time last? No, he didn't. He's not on the power play yet, but still, he's getting opportunity. He's playing on the second line, top 6 forward role. He did have a point in game 1, by the way. He did assist on one of the Tampa goals. So definitely a situation where I think that's a good call. I think that's just to get a point. He doesn't even have to score, just get a point. The goal scorer prop, by the way, Vito, on Hagel is plus 375. So it's a good price. A point for Hagel is that right? Plus 180? Yeah, plus 180 just to get a point for Hagel.
Yeah. For him to get a point, it's plus 180. I see it on my book as well.
Yep. You got to put something on that. This is a guy that's on the second line. He just got a point, and I've noticed him too. I've absolutely seen that he's been getting to the front of the net, getting to the traffic areas, getting opportunity. That's all you can ask for when you're talking about a guy that's you're just asking him to get a point at plus 180. You're seeing him get opportunities. You're seeing him, get involved in the play. He's not a guy that shies away from scrums after the whistle too. He's got a little bit of a physical component to him. And I think that probably puts him in a good spot as well. Like he'll get to those dirty areas to score goals. That's what I like about um, Brandon Hagel's game. So that's a phenomenal price because you're right. This is someone that's starting to percolate more and more. I notice for Tampa Bay as the playoffs have gone along for them.
Yeah, you mean Tampa's depth is something very special. They're very great players. So you can find great values. Just because they're on the third line, they would be maybe on the first or second line in some Senators. Or Arizona Coyotes for sure. So those are great players. They're getting great prices. I think it's when you're betting player props, you actually should look at those plus money. Because I think that's the way to go with player props. Should not bet too much juice with player props. Just my look. I don't bet them at all a lot. But from what I have seen from people when bet them who are more successful, I think they're taking less juice on player props.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could like the reason I like Palat so much is because even with him, it's only -1. You're right. I don't like
Okay, that's a different story.
Yeah,
That's a different story. That's we talk also. If you're riding winning streak, you keep riding a winning streak. I mean, it could go -160. We're riding winning streak. It's just a winning streak.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it is. I mean, for Andre Palat, it's a point in 9 of the last 10 playoff games, and he's only minus. Like, how is that -130?
And you've been on it. And you've
Really?
been how much on it? You've been at least on 5 or 6 in a row now, I think. Yeah. So
yeah, exactly.
How can you not?
How is that -130? Like the percentages and the math does not add up. Someone that's gotten a point in 9 of the last 10 games, that should be -190 or something like that. That's what it should be, just to get a point. But no adjustments been made. None. Zero.
His last name is not Kucherov or Stamkos, but he plays with them. So
yeah,
it's all good.
he's looked at as he's viewed at, certainly by odds makers, he's viewed at as the third wheel, on that top line.
Yeah. Well,
like spare parts to the Cadillac.
That's what good coaches do. I remember when I was younger, when I played, we coach always we had two. Like when you're younger, it's very important you play at the same age because older guys already are much bigger than you. So we had 2 years together, and always coach made 2 good players and a less good winger. 2 good players in the second line, and for example, younger winger and mix, and always putting that 2 good players and a weaker player, and that's actually, I think, how you should roll, yeah. And that's what they do. And Palat just are perfect in that line. And Pittsburgh did that always as well with Crosby putting some Kunitz, or now we have Getzel, So also those guys, well, Getzel now is different kind of youth guy, but also he was not so superstar before.
Yeah, no question about that. The third goal, Sean Murphy in our chat saying, I don't trust Kemper, that third goal, I mean, Kemper's the big thing, the big concern. It's the elephant in the room for Colorado. You love everything about this team. And I don't want to say Kemper's back. Kemper's had a great season, but he's being compared to Vasilevsky at the other end. Like if Kemper's facing Aaron Dell in this series, then we're not talking about concern for Kemper. I don't think it's concern for Kemper's ability. Kemper's capable. Kemper can play. Kemper's had a nice season. It's the concern of we're comparing Kemper to the best goalie in the league right now, Andre Vasilevsky. If he's playing a subpar goalie in a playoff series at the other end, then we're not talking about it too much. But it's because, hey, he's got up against Vasi. He's got to be on top of his game. And if he's not, it's a problem.
There's another thing, but you see, Vasilevsky, he has to be good for Tampa Bay. Kemper, actually, with this Colorado defense, which Colorado don't allow a lot of shots. So in the end, Kemper just needs to be decent, If Colorado keeps playing this good defensively, I mean, allowing only like 20, 25 shots a game to Tampa Bay, then Kemper needs to be decent. That's how he was in the first game, If Colorado continues to play this good defense, then Kemper is in a good position.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought he had some really good moments in game 1. And he also had a goal or two where it's like, come on, you let that one in. So that's sometimes what you get. But I thought he had made some really key saves, especially in the third period when that game was still 3-3. So you do have to give him some credit for that. People loving Vito in the chat. I love it. Vito's chuckle is an all-time classic, says Jay Shank. You're right. Yeah. That's
big well.
Yeah, it's a good chuckle. Yeah. Some people have an annoying laugh. Some people have a funny, good laugh. That's a funny, good laugh that Vito has. I have more of a That's my kind of laugh, like an evil laugh kind of thing going on. Yeah, Vito's great. We love having Vito on the weekends. Can't argue with that. Oh, look who's in the chat, Keith. You found the. See, I didn't need to send you the link, Keith. You found it yourself. Just go to the Ice Guys channel. Just type in the Ice Guys. You'll find the show. And you do make a good point, Keith. Too long of a playoff run for Perry. Yeah, maybe he's gassing out a little bit. A little bit older. Compared to some of the other Tampa Bay Lightning forwards. So maybe there's some truth to that. Point back maybe damages his playing time, I guess, a little bit. We'll see. But you're right. Perry's in a little bit of a funk right now. Okay, let's go to Colorado. Colorado player props now. Big Val, you said it, Vito. Let's start there because you already mentioned him. I'm on his overshots. He's firing the puck a lot. I like that quite a bit. I'm going to go back to the well with Nichushkin props again because Nichushkin at the big plus price. I saw plus 375, Vito, at bet 365 for game one for him to score a goal. I couldn't believe it. That was he's playing on the top fucking line. He's getting plus 375 to score a goal. I was shocked by that. Couldn't believe that.
Yeah, and he's controlling also the play a lot, taking the, with the confidence, taking the puck, feeling great. So looking good.
No, looking good is right. That's become one hell of a line here with Landeskog, McKinnon, and Big Val Nichushkin for this Colorado Avalanche team. And I'm looking at the adjustment here. Now, I do want to preface this by saying most books had Val Nichushkin to score at around plus 225, plus 250 in game one. That was an off-market number that I found with him to score a goal on Bet365. It was just Bet365 had it way higher than everybody else. And it was a big mistake. Oh, they've adjusted now. Nichushkin's plus 225, more in line with everyone else.
Okay.
Bet365. Yeah, they got caught with their pants down in game one, and they paid the price for it. You just can't make that kind of mistake. How the hell, if you're whoever put that number and price up on the board should get suspended, or I don't want to say fired. Because if you make a mistake, I don't like doing that. Fire somebody for making a mistake, but you gotta, I don't know, reprimand them, tell them, hey, don't do this again. Like if I'm a sportsbook director, Vito, I'm pissed. I'm pissed if I knew one of my guys put out a bonehead number and a bonehead price on Valeri Nichushkin to score in game one. Plus 375 was a joke that he was priced like that at Bet 365. So whoever put that number up there, they're probably answering to their boss today.
Well, I think it's because of the Vasilevsky. I think most of the books think that just the game Vasilevsky will be very good, and that most of the games he will let in less than 2 or 1 goal. So for Valeri to score, taking in consideration we have McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, price definitely ahead of him. So I understand why the price was there because of the Vasilevsky. I think but in the end, defense is what needs to be better for Tampa Bay. So defense was not there. So big Valeri was, which caused many turnovers. That first line, they were just on Tampa all the time. So yeah, I think it's defense which needs to step up. And goalie can steal you again 1 or 2 games, in the series, but he cannot bring you the cup home. Carey Price also showed you that. It's not possible just. Or Igor Shishchorkin, he also cannot bring you cup alone home. The Tampa, they can also help Vasilevsky, and he needs to be good when he needs to be good. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no question about that. So big Val Nichushkin. So let me close it out. But I am going to jump on the goal scorer props plus 225. I'm not going to get that big mistake again from Bet365, that big Christmas gift in June that I got from them in game one with him to score plus 375. But still, plus 225 is a very good price on him. And then, of course, yeah. And he's only minus 140 to get a point. So I'll be taking that too, Vito. Minus 140 for Val to get a point for the Avs, minus 140. So that definitely, and I like the overshots on goal as well because he has been shooting the puck a lot of attempts. It's not always reflective in the shots on goal numbers, but he is firing like double-digit shot attempts in a lot of games, and that's going to add up. Just find the net a little bit, hit the net a little bit more often with those, and you're going to see the over on his shots on goal.
Yeah, I would like to add. I think this guy. Remember we talked last time. When this guy gets hot, he gets hot. and we had a nice winner on Burakovsky. I think he got a point. So I can see actually this guy, maybe again, look for him to get a point today. I can see this guy getting a point today. I think it's plus 115. So Andre Burakovsky, definitely, I think he can again step on the score sheet today.
And I believe let me just refresh my memory here. And yes, and he's also been moved up. He's been moved up. They switched Burakovsky and Lehkonen, Jared Bednar. And I was thinking to myself, what the hell are you doing, man?
Nice.
See, sometimes Jared Bednar, look, I sometimes think Colorado wins in spite of Jared Bednar, not because of him. There's some things that he does. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? But I'll say this about Bednar. I questioned taking Lehkonen off the second line, dropping him to the third line in game one, where he ended up playing with Hellman O'Connor, and moving Burakovsky up to the second line with Compher and Rantanen. And I was thinking to myself, why are you doing that? This guy just won you the series against Edmonton and scored that overtime goal to finish off the sweep against the Oilers in the Western Conference Final. What the hell's up with this? But Burakovsky ends up getting the overtime winner. So you got to give the coach, you got to be willing to admit, hey, I didn't like the move going into the game, but the move worked. And say, hey, tip the cap to Jared Bednar on that one. He moved Burakovsky up. Maybe he thought it was maybe based on Tampa compared to Edmonton, he thought it was better for Burakovsky to be on that second line left wing spot compared to Lehkonen. It paid off, though. He got the overtime winner. He played extremely well in most of that game. And you're right about Burakovsky, Vito, in terms of, and I've said this about him a bunch, he sometimes goes into the biggest droughts and cold streaks imaginable, Andre Burakovsky. But when he gets off that schneid, he gets on the score sheet after a little drought, he can go on a run. Like he could get you like 4 goals in the next 6 games or something like that, or 5 points in the next 6 or 7 games or some shit like that. That's what Burakovsky does. He is a very streaky motherfucker, to put it bluntly. And I think he, after getting that goal in game one, confidence comes back. Maybe you're more aggressive. You maybe even shoot the puck more because you have the confidence of scoring the OT winner in game one.
Yeah.
So Burakovsky props, I like it.
Yeah, well, and I actually, about that adjustment that you said about those line adjustments. Well, it's the Stanley Cup final, so I think and every player should understand why it's happening. I think, there is no questions about that. And of course, I think also if he scored, he should not be moved down, but I think it's just strategically, something. So it should be done that way. And I like the teams which are not sleeping on the win, making some adjustments, still coming out today with those adjustments. I mean, you don't sleep on the win, I think that's the most important rule in the sport. Once you go and sleep on the win, next day you come out and lose. You should get better. You should always get better the next day, because next day will be harder than the next previous day.
Yeah, there's no question about that. So you're right. It's funny. Burakovsky's one of the props I really like for the Avs tonight. Val Nichushkin, it goes without saying. And I'm going to keep taking Nate MacKinnon over shots on goal as well. Now, Nate MacKinnon to get a point is or 2 points is plus 160. That's not bad, actually. But to get his shots on goal numbers, I believe 4.5, right? Yeah, 4.5 minus 160. I like it. I think he's going to get 5+ again. He's been almost automatic, Vito, getting at least 5 shots on goal, especially at home, especially in Denver. And I think you're going to see more of the same. He got to 5 the other night. He has been shooting the puck quite a bit. So Nate MacKinnon over 4.5 shots on goal. It is a shots on goal prop I cashed with in game one. I'm going to end up coming back to that here in game two as well. I think that's pretty much it as far as Colorado props for me tonight. Bowen Byram, I think, is going to get on the score. Like, I don't mind even plus 135 on him to get a point. I mean, I find he's jumping into the play a lot more. He's getting more confidence, as the playoffs go on. And when you look at the game one win for the Avs, he got a point. He got an assist on one of those 4 Colorado goals. So Bowen Byram, because I think his speed and his, vision, he's got some playmaking ability to him as well. That could end up becoming a factor at some point in this series. And I think his confidence just continues to rise. This is a guy that hasn't played a ton of games in the National Hockey League, but Vito, he's got 17 points in 30 games for the Avs this year. 12 of them being assists. So you could even go, if you want to be more specific, player assist number potentially for Bo Byram, which is plus. Is that even better, that number on Byram to get an assist? That is. Isn't that strange? Most of his points, Vito, have been assists, and yet he's plus 165 to get a point. He's plus 190, or he's plus 135 to get a point. He's plus 190 to get an assist. So I think if you like Byram a little bit, like I do, sprinkle on both, and certainly take something on the plus 190 for him to get an assist. Again, 17 points, 12 of them have been assists. So plus 190 is not bad there at all. See, Byram goal plus 750, but he's only got 5. Most of his points have been assists, have been helpers. So I think the plus 190 assist or plus 165 point could be live as well. And again, he got a point against Tampa Bay. And I just found, Vito, he was jumping into the play. He was more assertive offensively with the puck on his stick compared to Edmonton or St. Louis or the other earlier playoff rounds for Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I just was going over my bets today. So I a little bit listened, but because I have few, so ready now.
Yeah, we're not talking huge bets. Like you're going to say, Ian, what have you got, 10 or 12 props? These are very small bets, most of them. I will say the Palat is going to be a bigger one. The Palat to get a point has always been a bigger bet. And I think even some of the Stamkos props for me tonight are going to be bigger bets because I think he always seems to step up and get on the score sheet when he has no points in the previous game. And I really think you're going to see that again tonight. And from a Tampa Bay perspective, don't shy away from some of the power play points, player props for them, because I do think they're going to get on the power play a little bit more here tonight. And we know how good that power play. Colorado's PK has been very good too. Don't get me wrong, but you can get Kucherov plus 105 to get a power play point. Stamkos plus 150 to get a power play point. Victor Hedman plus 165 to get a power play point. Braden Point to plus 155 to get a power play point. You can sprinkle on some of those guys. I think that's not a bad option either because I think Tampa Bay is going to draw more penalties tonight. And obviously, you're always going to get a better price and more value with the power play points, player props, compared to just the regular points props with players. So those are some I'd consider, putting a few shekels on, putting a few dollars on tonight here for a game 2 as well. So I think we went over the props about as good as we could do. And there you go. That's what we're looking at here for a game 2 with the Lightning and the Avs. Yeah, Sean, we did talk about the over-under. I lean under just because I think Tampa Bay is live to win the game. And we've seen that going back to game 7 against Toronto in the first round, every Lightning win in the playoffs, the game has stayed under the total. Every single one, since game 7 of Toronto. So, and I think if the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to win, they're going to win a game like 3-1 or 3-2 or 4-2, something like that. Whereas if Colorado wins, that's when you could see, 5-2, 5-3. They get it going up and down. So, yeah, because I like Tampa here in game 2, I lean under. Vito, what did you lean with the over? I think total. I think you're leaning over, right?
Yeah, I'm leaning over. I have plenty bets today also.
Yeah.
So I will go through them, I guess, in the end.
Yeah. So but I think, and that's not surprising. Like Vito likes Colorado, so I'm not surprised to hear him say he leans over. This definitely has that look and that feel to it that it's a correlated game. That if Colorado wins, the game is going to go over the total. If Tampa wins, the game is going to stay under the total. That's what it's got that feel like to me. No question about that. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out here tonight. But again, if you like Tampa Bay, and I've seen people do this previously, and especially against the Rangers, when they were really digging in defensively. Vasilevsky was his usual, stellar self in an elimination game. There were people that were taking these combo bets, Vito, of, Tampa Bay to win and under. And you can get Tampa Bay and under 5.5 at +3. If you've got the guts, Tampa Bay and under 5.5 would be +380 tonight in this game. +380. And you got to think there's a decent chance that could cash, because if Tampa Bay is going to win, I think it's probably going to be lower scoring. So, Tampa Bay under 5 and under 5.5 combo bet. Even Tampa Bay and under 6.5, if you want to be a little bit safer, it's probably not a bad way to go. You can end up getting a pretty good price still with that. I think it's more closer to plus 180, plus 200 with Tampa Bay and under 6.5. But even that, is definitely uh, that is definitely a situation that could be possible here. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, it should be a fascinating game too. I like Tampa first period, Tampa full game money line. Vito likes Colorado. Do you like them first period or just no full game?
Well, I can go through what I like, what I don't like. For Tampa Bay fans, not fans, I mean for people who like Tampa Bay today, definitely I would recommend that first period, which Ian goes with. I think is plus 110, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken. So it's a first period should be the best from the Tampa definitely here. I think myself, even if I like Colorado, I might take Tampa Bay over 2.5. I might cash both, So because it's the playoffs, I want to split my bets a little bit also, not just have one bet. So I think myself, I will take Tampa Bay over 2.5. I think it's a great bet. I think it has a great value.
Yep.
Both teams to score in the first period. That's what I'm gonna sprinkle on. I think both teams can score in the first period today. Uh, but my main bet, yeah, I like Colorado money line, and I will also go with the Colorado over 3 goals. So basically, I get a push on 3 in regulation. So or I win if they score 4 in regulation. So basically, I'm not taking puck line. I rather take over 3 goals, because I think it's a little bit safer. So if I want to cover the puck line with Colorado, I need anyways 3 goals at least from them. So but perhaps 4, 4-2 would be the puck line it would cash. So over 3 sounds better in regulation and has a great value. It's minus 115.
Definitely, and yeah, I like the Tampa Bay team total. I do like that as well, and also I'm looking at like I said, props. I'll just name the players. I'm not going to go through every one. Andre Palat, and to get a point is just outstanding value. Uh, Stamkos props, goal score, shots on goal to get a point, get a power play point. Same with Palat, power play point. Kucherov, power play point. Braden Point, Victor Hedman, power play point props because you're going to get better numbers. I think they're all worth a look. Palat to get a point. Stamkos props. Brandon Hagel props. Vito talked me into that one. I agree, and especially now that he's on the second line, I think he's making more of an impact. So, and he's plus 165, whatever it is, to get a point. That's outstanding. And like I said, some of these Bowen Byram, I think, you're a little swing for the fences, but he got a point in game one. He gets a point tonight. It's plus 135. He gets an assist like he did in game one. It's plus 190. I think it's great value there. Big Val Nichushkin, over shots on goal. He's only, I think, minus 140 to get a point, plus 225 to score a goal. Val Nichushkin, worth prop looks tonight, in my opinion. Burakovsky, as Vito mentioned, he's a streaky fucking bastard, this guy. But when he gets it going, look out. And you saw him finally get a goal the other night. He's up on the second line. He's going to get the minutes to get a point, to score a goal for Burakovsky. Like we were talking about, worth a look. To get a point, by the way, for Burakovsky, again, it's just plus 120. And then a goal score prop on Burakovsky's in the plus 300 range. It's terrific value, on that. So definitely those are some of the things we're looking at here. I still may not shy away from Lehkonen, but I don't like that he's down on the third line. But I still think he's a capable performer, even though he's been demoted slightly. So I might even get in on Lehkonen point, Lehkonen goal score. Lehkonen's in that plus 300 range. Lehkonen is plus, or is actually even money to score, to get a point, minus 105. It's actually crazy. Burakovsky's got a better price to get a point than Lehkonen, because Burakovsky's on the second line, Lehkonen on the third line. Lehkonen's minus 105 to get a point. Burakovsky's plus 120 to get a point. So just found that was very interesting. So Burakovsky's the better value, in my opinion, for sure, and especially after scoring the overtime winner in game one. All right, I don't know if we could pack more analysis into 1 hour than that, or a little less than an hour. I mean, we broke down this game from every fucking nth degree, as far as I'm concerned. By the way, there's going to be no change in either of these two teams in terms of their injuries. There's still going to be no Cogliano. There's still going to be no Nazem Kadri. At least I'm pretty sure of that. Although Cogliano was on the morning skate for Colorado, so he could actually be back on that fourth line for them tonight. But that's where he'd play. So obviously someone would be exiting from the fourth line if Cogliano's ready to go for Colorado tonight. Probably takes they'd probably take Nico Sturm out, I would think, and probably put Cogliano back in if he's ready to go tonight. So Cogliano was at on the morning skate here for Colorado, so there's a chance he returns. I don't think Kadri's going to be back until at least Game 3 when this series shifts to Tampa, because he's just doing puck handling drills just a couple days ago. So he's still, I think probably Game 4, 5 type of deal at the earliest. I still think he's a few days away from returning, but we will continue to monitor that. All right, great stuff. Vito, awesome show, awesome analysis. We're looking forward to Game 2. I will be doing a show tomorrow with a guest that we had already arranged, so it'll just be me and the guest tomorrow on Sunday. It's going to be a pre-recorded show as well, which is what we've been doing on the days where there's been no games. We will be back with a live show on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Game 3 to get ready for that. And we have our live betcast this week for the Stanley Cup Final. We have back-to-back live Stanley Cup Final betcasts here for the Ice Guys. We're going to have Game 3 live betcast Monday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. It was a great turnout, by the way, last Thursday for the betcast. Looking forward to Game 3, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. DM or email me, bobano350@gmail.com, if you want the link to the betcast, and you can join us for Game 3 Monday night. And we will also have one for Game 4 on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Back-to-back live betcasts coming up on Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So looking forward to that. Hope they might be our last 2 live betcasts, because after that, the only other betcast we're going to have during this series is Game 7 on Tuesday, June 28th, if there is one. So hopefully there is, but make sure you join us. This could be it for the betcasts on Monday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for Game 3 and Game 4, the 2 games in Tampa Bay. We will have Ice Guys live betcasts for both of those, so looking forward to that. All right, DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers bet just $1 on any NHL team. Get $150 in free bets if they win. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state or province, you can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Hockey Contests. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings app, sign up for an account, use the promo code THPN, bet just $1 on any NHL team, and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 years of age or older, must reside in a DraftKings Sportsbook state or province. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app, sign up for an account, use the promo code THPN. I do give you credit, IceX. I know you're a diehard Avs fan. You love that team. You've got their avatar of the Avalanche in your display picture, and yet you're unbiased. You like the Lightning to win here in Game 2 tonight. So I respect that. I respect any fan that doesn't wear blinders 24/7 when it comes to their team. It's just, my team is great. My team's awesome. My team can do no wrong. Those are the people that aggravate me the most. It's the people that have a clear mind, that have a clear conscience, and are unbiased and truthful, honest about their team. And IceX is that. So well done, IceX. I respect that you like Tampa tonight to win, even though you're a big Avs fan. Just like me. I said to people last week with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the CFL, Vito, I have season tickets for the Ticats. I'll be at the game tonight, Calgary and Hamilton. Looking forward to that. But there's people, last week, I didn't fucking screw around. I didn't fucking create lies and fabricate shit about my team. I said, we're not going to win against Saskatchewan. We never win in Saskatchewan. We suck there. We don't play good football there against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And what happened last week? Hamilton lost, my team, in Saskatchewan. Did I say, my team's great, they'll win in Saskatchewan, we're better than them? No. I was honest with everybody. I said, we never win in Saskatchewan. And sure enough, they lost. So I like that about IceX. Be honest about your team, good or bad. It's always the best way to be. All right, you know what's best? The way to be is cashing best bets. That's the best way to be, and we'll try to do that as well. Vito, best bet, Game 2 tonight, Stanley Cup Final. What do you like?
Yeah, well, for those who can find this kind of a bet, my best bet would be Avs in regulation over 3 goals. So you can find it at -115. So basically, you win If Avs score 4 in regulation, you push. If Avs score 3 in regulation, you lose. If Avs score less than 3 goals in regulation, that would be my best bet. But overall, maybe some books don't have it, then just Avs money line or regulation. But yeah, I'm an Avs.
All right, there you go. Avs in regulation, over 3.5, over 3 goals, I should say, in
Yeah.
regulation for Vito with his
I
best
see them. Yeah, I don't. Well, Avs should score less than 3, and I only can lose. I will take that any day at -115.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my best bet. I'm going to actually go with a split. I'm not, because I've been burned doing this before a couple times, where I use, when I have a first period and a full game money line on the same team. I sometimes will say, "Oh, best bet first period." They'll lose the first period and they'll come back and win the game. Or I'll say full game, they'll win the first period, lose the full game. And I've been, just a couple of times I've been burned doing that. So for the best bet, I'm going to say Tampa Bay Lightning split bet plus 115 first period and plus 135 full game. That way, if one of them cashes, we at least go 1-1 with them. So it's a split bet. Split best bet for me here for game 2 tonight. Tampa Bay plus 115 first period. Tampa Bay plus 135 full game. There we go. That is my best bet here for game 2 Stanley Cup final. And again, a lot of good props. I hope if you just joined the show late, you missed it, rewatch the show. Everything's archived. You can watch it anytime you want. We went through a lot of props and a lot of good ones, in my opinion, tonight. I'm expecting a good prop night when it comes to betting this game 2 tonight. So looking forward to that for sure.
Well, a
No
lot of
question.
goals. You need a lot of goals. If you expect a lot of props, you need a lot of goals.
You do, exactly. But again, my goal is also with, like, for Byram and Hagel and Burakovsky and Nichushkin with the goal score prop, if we could hit that again. Paul, if he could score again. You just need to cash a couple of them to be profitable. Kind of like the other night. The other night I was profitable with props just because I got 3 goal scorer props, Vito. It was unbelievable in that first period. We were on the betcast Thursday night or Wednesday night when this happened. 3 goal scorer props for me of plus 300 or better cashed in the first period. Val Nichushkin plus 375, Nick Paul plus 375, and Lehkonen plus 300. All in that first period. Scored goals. I mean, I was going nuts. I couldn't believe
Couldn't
it.
understand. Dreaming or reality? Is this dream?
Dreams become reality.
I see this already.
Yeah. Dreams become, it's like that 90s dance song, because I'm a big fan of that genre. Dreams become reality. Yeah, you always hear that. Good stuff. Yeah, it was. It felt like a dream, but it was reality. So it was a great prop night with some of those, and hopefully we got some prop winners lined up for you tonight as well. All right, we'll wrap up the show. Great stuff. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live on YouTube. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Vito, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy game 2 of the Stanley Cup final tonight. Good luck with all of your bets. And I'll be back tomorrow with a pre-recorded show. Nikita Kashersky is going to be our guest tomorrow on the show. And then Monday back with a live show, 2 p.m. Eastern. Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.